got 2 ponds to build where we're at. This is the first one we're going to start. That's the center of it. I've got to get my dozer. It's over the hill there at the other location. What I'm going to be doing today is just clearing the brush off enough where we can stretch a tape across there and get it measured out. The men will be here in the morning to lay these things out. It come a little shower last night, just enough to make stuff slick, but that's what we're going to do. We're on the Kubota and going to drive over the hill there and get the dozer, clear that side off, and come back and kind of knock this down and get everything ready for in the morning. So let y'all see a little bit of that this morning as we're cutting through the country here. So this is one pond that's going to be above the one that we're going to build. It's just filled in. It's real shallow, but it'll serve as a hole to catch all the silt, and when it spills, it'll go down into the new one, which will just make it last that much longer. going to be the center of the pond, that flag, and it's 150 foot in diameter, so that about ought to be enough to sit it right in there. I wanted to get those trees right there off that old dam, but I don't want to push dirt off in that creek right there. That's quite a bit of drainage comes down through here from that top of that hill back down through here, so that's okay. Maybe we can get it laid out. Then I can fill that in once I get here. I'll probably block that off up there, this side of the fence, with a little berm while I'm building it, or get some dirt out of the tank, then I can cut it out when I'm through. That way, if it comes a little old shire, if it comes a half-inch rain while I'm here, that runs quite a bit of water off that old raw hill. So, we'll go back up there where the Kubota is, and we'll go with that other side and try to get it cleared this evening. Tons more moving dirt. Glad y'all able to join us today. The last part of the video that I was doing yesterday, probably noticed I had it on time lapse. I don't know if it'll show up as good, but I did get stuck. The bottom fell out of everything, so got it out late yesterday. So now I've got to clean my tracks before I even get started. I'm glad it didn't freeze too much last night, or that would have been bad, but I just didn't feel like doing it last night. The other side, not bad. This is the side that went down, and that side there is not bad at all. Got a little mud up on the side, but that's not too bad. Could have been a heck of a lot worse. So anyway, had a dozer with a winch come out, pulled me out. That's just kind of the way some of this country is up here in Will Barker County. It's either so hard you can't dig it, or so soft it won't hold you up. But I'm in the process of stripping my topsoil and putting it back up here. The edge of the hole is that flag, and this is where the dam will be, the spoil. And I was peeling the topsoil off, and I did originally, the center of the tank was going to be closer into that stuff where I got stuck yesterday evening, but I moved it back to the east, so that would just be on the edge of the hole. And about all I was doing was trying to push that back past the edge of the hole so nothing would seep out of the tank. And I mean, the bottom fell plumb out of that thing. Had it cored out with an auger, and they went about 10 foot in the ground, and from the word go, it was so hard they couldn't hardly drill it. And right here was where they dug the hole, and there's where this was the center, and I moved it back that way. But it's under here. It's just all this has had silt run down there, even though there's a hole right there, a tank right there. It's full of silt. But anytime where one of these little old creeks bend and turn like this, every time it turns, it dumps the silt out. But here's some of that stuff showing up, probably where they drilled the hole. But then right there, it's just like quicksand. That's where I was at. You can see where this old creek is and all this silt under here. It's just like jello when you stand on it. I'll just watch, even if I've got to edge into it. See, here's some of that hard stuff showing up, but boy, you get right down there, that's bad. Here, this is the edge of the hole, this flag, and it'll bend around there, so I don't have to dig out here. But I was trying to force some water out, and when I pushed off up there, when I backed up, the front end just fell out of that thing, and there's probably water trying to come up or seep out of there. I was dragging the belly pan, but yeah, there's some water coming out. Yeah, it's pretty squishy. That's why I didn't want the tank to be over here. I knew we was going to have trouble, but I'll just try to get this caved back enough where I don't want water trying to seep out of the hole down this deal. This will be under the dam, but right there where that creek comes around, and right there might be, I can get that back far enough where I don't want water seeping out of the hole into this old creek and going on down that way. But so I'll get up here and get this. I hadn't even started putting topsoil up there yet, and I'm going to try to get this straightened out and let this sit here and air out a little bit more. So it's supposed to get down to 24 tonight. That might get kind of froze in the morning. I might get some more of that out, but I bet you for long it'll be so hard you can't hardly cut it. So as long as it's not rock like that other one was. So anyway, once we get going, I'll set my camera up and we'll let you see some of that. Maybe I can get this thing kind of straightened out yet this morning. So thank you for watching again, and we'll let you see some more video later today. had a pretty good day on the tank today. I didn't get stuck. I had several people call me and ask me if I was stuck. I don't think they was concerned as much as they was wanting to give me a hard time about being stuck yesterday. But anyway, I told them not yet. The day was still young, so. But the day is old, and I managed to stay on hard ground. So I like just a little bit having this peeled back. That's the edge of my hole, that stake. I'd like to be a little ways past that. That way I could pack the slope down. And I hit hard ground right here pretty quick, and then that deep stuff over there, then it come up, and then it goes that way, and it goes this way, and that right there going up that slope, that's just a mess. But I'm gonna put me some stakes, and I pulled that one up so I could kind of clean that up. Hope I'm past the stakes enough I don't have to get no more of that over there. But I was going up here pretty good right there, then for some reason it just went back in, and that's just a mess. You hit that slope with a load of dirt and you just sink into it. So I was taking just a little bit at a time, and most of it was mud and it was sticking to the blade, and I just got through cleaning the blade off a little bit. I'm gonna bring a bar in the morning, but here's a little water coming out of that stuff. I guess well, that used to be a creek years ago, I guess, and it silted in. Of course, it can't go through this stuff. So anytime it gets wet, it stays wet from the top down to this, and then water comes out of it. And here's some more water coming out of it. It's just seeping out, but if I get that slope back a little bit more, I can pack that in with some of this clay, and it'll keep the water from the tank going out. So that's what we want to do, and try to get it start round. Now I've still got some back here in the back, which the flags back there is the back of the hole, and then there's a little old piece here that's mud. I guess that's where that creek went up toward that old tank, and this could have already been silted in when they built that tank up there, but can't ever tell what happened hundreds of years ago, what this looked like down here. But you know, that raw dirt all washed down here, and it had to slow down and stop somewhere. That was pretty good here, but I've got to be over to that flag. Still got a little water standing up here, but I don't know if part of this goes this way, then it splits and goes that way, because up there where that flag is, where that ribbon is, it's soft up there. So, but that's easy to get out of. I can push it down the hill. So anyway, I'll set my stakes in the morning, and I didn't want to lower this a whole lot before I got the mud out, but I had to keep getting some dry dirt up. Here's where they cored it, and it was hard ground, foot under the ground, but I'm getting into a bunch of that dirt. I was calling it circle dirt, but we went to Deere Canyon back in the summer, and they had a display case and showed the different formations of that canyon, and the different kinds of dirt and stuff that was in there. And they had some of this in there, and they called it shale with halos. So I said, well, a halo, you know, you think of angels, so I think I'll just start calling it angel dirt instead of circle dirt. But that's what it is. That's this same stuff is located in that Deere Canyon somewhere. I can't remember the depth that it's located, but they call it a shale with halos. So, and I know for a fact the halos are moisture or water. Back when that was being formed, there's a pretty good sized one right there, but there's a lot of them showing up now, which that's usually pretty good dirt. I mean, it's hard and stuff, but you can dig it, and who knows, now I may hit water, or water may start coming up as I get down. There's a bunch of them up there. Once you rip it, they really show up. Big ones, little ones, and all sizes of ones. But anyway, back over here, about 100 yards in that brush is a well, and asked the landowner how deep it was, and he said 25 foot. Well, if you hadn't ever run a dozer, most people who run one know this. If you're running on top of ground where there's water, the closer you get to the water starts coming up, because that dozer sitting there shaking that ground, and that water usually comes up. So I don't know, maybe when I'm finished I may be just 10 foot above where the water level's at. So, but a lot of times you may run over ground 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden it starts getting wet and slushy like a bowl of jello, and that's what's happening. That water's starting to come up to the top of the ground. So anyway, we'll let y'all see some of that tomorrow. We'll try to get it shaped up where it looks like something, hopefully tomorrow. I'm just going to cover all that up. Once I get that back far enough and get that plated, I'm not worried about what that looks like underneath that. But I'd moved the tank up the hill about 30 foot, the center of the tank, or if not, I'd have been right out in the middle of that with the edge. That would have been a bad deal there. So anyway, the wind's been blowing all day. It's been pretty cold. So it's supposed to be warmed up tomorrow, and the wind's going to be back out of the south. So we'll let y'all see that some tomorrow. Hopefully it'll look a little bit better than it does now. So thank you again for watching this channel. If you hadn't subscribed, wish you'd do that. Any questions or comments you got, send them. We'll try to get them answered. So till tomorrow, this is James with Done Some More Moving Dirt. Keep your blade shiny and your tracks clean. Bye.